Welcome to Magicbricks Now, India's first property channel. You're watching the urban debate. I'm Faye D'Souza. Let's take a look at what's making headlines today. The political mandate in 5 assemblies is out. The BJP trumps the Congress in Assam, makes inroads in Kerala, while Amma and Didi roar to power once again. The Congress left in the dust in all states. Magicbricks Now's campaign against project delays continues. Today, buyers in Delhi protested against the Delhi Development Authority for a delay of 35 years in delivery of plots that were signed back in 1981. Big Magicbricks Now exclusive. Mumbai finally has a plan. After dilly-dallying for nearly 3 years, the Mumbai civic body finally ready with a draft development plan. It says it will invite citizens' suggestions in a bit. Magicbricks Now's relentless pursuit for transparency in the housing sector pays off. Finally, BMC will have building proposals online. Homebuyers can now check all relevant papers on the BMC website. Well, it's a campaign that we're running against project delays across the country. Some of the stories we've heard about delayed projects are completely appalling. Homebuyers in Pune are up in arms against developers. They're raising questions. And in the eye of the storm this time is KUL, Kumar Urban Developers, the Ecoloch project. Homebuyers allege that despite reaching out several times, there's no response from the developer. My colleague Ruchi Deshpande travelled to Pune last week and caught up with those distressed homebuyers. Listen in.
I am standing here with the people who have invested for a home in KUL Ecoloch that is located in Mahalunge in Pune. Now, the main issue at hand here is that they were promised possession of the flats in 2014. They were not given so in 2014, after which their latest protest against the builder was in 2015. And now it is 2016 May, almost 5 months into the new year, and they still haven't received their possession. So let's hear it from them what the exact issue is. So what is your issue at hand right now? What is the current situation?
Yeah, actually the main problem we are facing here is the builder. In spite of we have paid all the amount, the 100% amount, we have not received our possession of the flat from the builder. And whenever we approach them, they commit. I mean, they will come out with a schedule that we will give you the possession, but never that promise has been fulfilled, right? And we were harassed, mentally tortured like anything.
आप अभी तक EMI पे कर रहे हो, पैसों का क्या सिचुएशन है?
EMI का जो सिचुएशन है वो 16,000 रुपये EMI जाता है और घर का जो भाड़ा है वो 12,000 रुपये है. फिर सैलरी मिलती है 40,000, बचता है 10,000 रुपये बचते हैं. उसमें से 10,000 बचने के बाद किराना भरे या बच्चों की ट्यूशन फीस भरे.
When you had a protest in December last year, that is in 2015, what was the builder's response after this to that? Did he listen to you? Was anything done after that?
उसने बोला था कि ऐसा प्रोटेस्ट मत करो, मेरा इमेज ख़राब मत करो. हमने ऐसा प्रोटेस्ट इसीलिए किया कि पिछले 2 साल में कम से कम 25-30 बार हम उसके साथ मीटिंग्स किए हैं, उसके सेल्स पर्सन, उसके मैनेजर साथ मीटिंग किए हैं. हर बार हम जब मीटिंग करते हैं कि एक प्रॉमिस डेट दे जाता है, 2 हफ्ते में हो जाएगा, 3 हफ्ते में हो जाएगा, वो काम होता ही नहीं है. हम फिर फॉलोअप करते हैं, फिर वही होता है, फिर प्रॉमिस करते हैं, वो लोग कुछ फॉलोअप होता ही नहीं है.
What is your future plan of action regarding this now?
In spite of all our best efforts, right, he is not responding. We don't have any option but to fight a legal case against him. So our next course of action will be to go to the court and fight against him. We are not going to leave.
Homebuyers paying rent and EMIs and waiting for their homes. On the show with me tonight, Nirav Jani Associate Partner, Hariani Co, Krishnaraj Rao RTI Activist, Vijay Sagar Activist with the Akhil Bharatiya Grahak Panchayat in Pune, and the homebuyers at KUL Ecoloch who join us from Pune. I want to start with the homebuyers here. Sachin, you have the mic right now. You tell us what your experience has been. Has the developer given you any sort of commitment right now on a date of possession? Do the buildings that are almost ready, do they have water? Do they have sewage? Do they have electricity supply? What is the status as far as you're concerned?
Hi Faye, thanks for having us on your channel today. This is Vijay, and I'm joined by. And we are. And we are joined by a lot of people from Kul who are also buyers in Kul. Now, I'll go back a little bit in the history to give you a brief on what has actually happened and the timelines. Me and my wife, we just happened to be there at the Kul site when it was being launched in April of 2011. And knowing that it was a project by Mr. Lalit Kumar Jain, the renowned builder of Pune, we actually bought into the story. We booked a flat, and to this day, unfortunately, we are still waiting, and we are losing our hope very, very fast. And I am unable to explain, how many hardships, how many challenges, and how many embarrassing questions we are being asked by our relatives. Hey, when are you getting the flat? That's the situation we are in. Now, as far as the construction completion goes, there are a lot of things which are still pending. Water is one of those. STP is non-existent. Waste removal is not there. The garbage is being dumped right across the site. Lift, one of the things, right? The lift ducts, there is a provision for two elevators. There is just one elevator set up right now in a lot of buildings, and one of the ducts remains open. Now, all of this is happening while folks have been given possession, the so-called furniture possession, who are already staying there, and it's a site under construction. It doesn't have a completion certificate, and a lot of guys who are going for possession, they do not even have a meter, MSCB meter, one of the basic things that's supposed to be there. So there are a lot of challenges here, and we have been talking with the builder since a very, very long time. When we took the flat, we were told, you will celebrate Diwali of 2013 in your flat, and we were excited. Now it's like almost Diwali of 2016 which is coming up, and I still do not see any hope or chances of getting my flat. Now, all of this has happened in spite of us having 25 to 30 meetings, and a lot of those meetings were held with no other than but Mr. Lalit Kumar Jain himself, where he gave us a lot of promises, and they seemed very genuine promises. When we heard it from him, we completely trusted him, and we were also okay with some of the delays, because a project of this size will have some delays, but now the delays are too much. We are not able to sustain.
Tell me what the possession date was on the agreement when you signed it.
And rent, and continuously having to plan what.
All right. Tell me what the possession date was on the agreement when it was signed.
So when I joined, when I first went to the site, I was told that December 2013, but that's the outside limit. You will definitely get the possession by Diwali of 2013. That was what we were told. Now, we booked the flat in pre-launch, and after that, the registration actually got done in April of next year. After that, when we read the document, it said that you get the possession 3 years after you sign the document. So fine.
Okay.
So we believed that. We said, okay, now it's already stretches it to 1 year, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. And so now that date also came and went by, and nothing has happened. We are still out there, not having any support from Mr. Lalit Kumar Jain and the entire management, and we are struggling. We are even trying to have a meeting, and that's not happening. There is no commitment whatsoever from the builder to us as to when I will get my flat. And I can say that for a lot of my colleagues who are there with me today, and we are all in the same boat, struggling and very, very fast losing hope here.
All right, I want to bring in Vijay Sagar here. Vijay Sagar, you work with an organization right now that's helping home buyers. Tell us what sort of complaints you have received from home buyers in Pune about this project in particular.
Yeah, for this Kul Ecoloch, we have got complaint from the two phases. One is Ecoloch phase 1 and other is Ecoloch phase 2. One is having 850 flats, other is having 750 flats.
Yes.
So there is incomplete construction, there is no road, there is no light, there is no water connection, and some of the consumers have agitated. Then builder have lodged complaints against them, and now these consumers are running to the police pillar and post. So Prashasan is not helping at all. Police is also not helping. So these, whatever all these consumers are hopeless, their situation is hopeless. And with a renowned builder like Kumar Builder, this should not be happen.
How many
And they
complaints
should
have
not-
you received? Vijay Sagar, how many complaints have you received personally?
For about 150 people have approached me out of 850, and for other phase also about 100 people have approached me.
150 people who've complained. In fact,
Yeah, because actually these consumers are not organized. That is the problem. They are booking their flats, one by one they are going and booking their flats, and afterwards also they are not coming forward to file the complaint together. That is the problem. And everywhere this problem is there, and builders are taking advantage of this. That is the, and now you just see the cost of the flat is 55 lakh, around 55 lakh. And for that, he is also charging out of that afterwards infrastructure charges of 2.5 lakh. Now, what is the infrastructure charges? Then what is the building and what is the infrastructure? That is the question. Why infrastructure charges to be asked? And afterwards, now he is asking from consumer that you please provide me an affidavit. Otherwise, that there is no complaint against builder. Otherwise, I will not give possession.
what sort of
That
an
is the
affidavit?
state.
What sort of an affidavit is he asking for?
That all the building I have got is correct, and whatever this complaint I have made, that I am taking back. Like that affidavit they are asking from consumer. You can ask consumers, they are with you now, so they will tell clear cut.
Are the
Yeah.
infrastructure
One
charges
second,
part of
Krishna,
the...
I want to. We're looking at an affidavit right now from the consumer who's holding that up. Tell us, explain to us what is on those papers. What have you been asked to sign? What sort of an affidavit did the developer ask you for? To the consumer who's holding up that paper, tell us what that paper is and what you're holding up right now.
So, Faye, I will read it out here. It says, affidavit. I/we state that some Kul Ecoloch customers instigated us to join in the agitation, taking out morchas, publishing defamatory statements against the developer company of the project Kul Ecoloch at Mahalunge, Pune, other associate companies, firms and its directors, partners. We, under the influence, joined the illegal morchas at the gate of the office of Kul Ecoloch with banners containing derogatory, untrue, defamatory writings against the developer company of the project Kul Ecoloch at Mahalunge, Pune, other associate companies, firms and its directors, partners, and for posting photographs with said banners and for publishing false and defamatory statements. We came to the gate of the office of the company at Kumar Business Center, CTS number 29, Burn Garden, with banners and were shouting slogans. An illegal gathering was organized. We, along with others, illegally demonstrated at the office gate of the company. We expressed that we did not mean to be part of any illegal possession against the developer company of the project Kul Ecoloch at Mahalunge, other associate companies. We recognize that my act have just hampered the reputation of my own project Kul Ecoloch Phase 1 and of the company. We also acknowledge that we totally misguided and misled by certain persons acting
Vijay
as
Sagar,
administrators.
tell me under what
We have
conditions
completely
were people asked to sign
disassociated
these
ourselves from such
affidavits?
agitation,
Actually,
publications, and are
without-
committed for the well-being of the
Actually,
project.
there is no provision. Actually, there is no provision to take affidavit like this. But purposely to harass the consumers, this firm is doing these things, which is illegal, and no consumer should sign that. That is my request to all the consumers. Because if they have not got their home and they should not agitate also, why they should agitate? I will suggest them that all they should go and stay in Kumar's own house. This all you just see 850 and 750 means about 1600 flats into 5 persons per flat. So that many people should go and stay in Kumar's project.
Okay,
Instead
all right.
of project,
Let me ask the buyers this question to the buyers who are on the show right now. If anyone has signed that affidavit, tell me why you signed that affidavit. Why would you sign an affidavit that goes against everything that you're telling me right now on the show? What made you sign that affidavit?
So I don't think we have anybody here who has signed it yet, but every time we have gone to the office, we have been asked to sign it. Interestingly enough, this document has not been sent to us in spite of our request over email. Every time we have asked it over email, the emails gets ignored, but when we go to the office, we are told, sir, you have to sign that document if you want to get the possession. Now, that's where it is. Now, hear out the last two parts of this, which are very interesting. I would also like to assure you that we will not be part of any possession or agitation, and we shall not publish any statement in any manner whatsoever which is meant to defame the reputation of the company. We hereby unconditionally apologize for everything we have committed. As aforesaid, we have done the same under outside influence, misrepresentation by mistake. And that's what it says. It goes on to say that we will not.
So, yeah, this is just
ask
Nirav
for
Jani.
any damages.
Legally, can a developer say sign this affidavit if you want possession? If you don't sign this affidavit, I won't give you possession.
No.
No, absolutely not. So all of these customers should just absolutely refuse to sign the possession. Can the developer refuse them possession if they have not signed that document?
No.
Krishna?
Absolutely not. It is ridiculous. This is a completely illegal kind of a stand that the builder has taken. He is bound by the agreement to give possession on the date that is written in the agreement. And if he has not done that, he is performing an illegal action.
All right, let me tell you something about the date of the written agreement here. We've obviously got in touch with Kumar Urban several weeks ago. We asked them several questions. We invited them on this show. We asked them to come in and answer questions from these buyers. We asked them to come in and answer questions from the channel. They have flatly refused to come anywhere near a camera. They've refused to be part of this conversation. They've sent us emailed responses. Now, the question that I asked them about when the actual possession date was for phase 1 and phase 2 of this particular project, this is the response we got. And I want everybody to pay very close attention, even those watching at home. This is something you should worry about if you're signing a document. It says the agreement clause is 3 years from the date of the agreement for each individual client. There is no one standard date. Only in 15 odd cases, that winds up to 2014. The rest of the cases, the possession date winds up at 2016, quarter 1 or quarter 2, so it's technically not a delay. The agreement clause is 3 years from the date of signing the agreement, no specific date. Now, what does this mean? If I sign an agreement today for a building that's ready, will you only give it to me 3 years from today? Nirav Jani, under MOFA, under the Maharashtra Housing Act also, is it okay to get a customer to sign a deal without a possession date? Shouldn't there be a specific possession date mentioned?
Yeah, so as far as the date is concerned, it is a date which is determinable. So you need not necessarily have written a particular day, month and year. So if it is written that the period starts from the date of the agreement and 3 years hence you will get your possession, it is determinable. Now, it is between the parties to understand as to whether it's absurd or not that if the building is ready and the builder is still going to take 3 years hence to give you possession, whether you want to go ahead with the project or no.
I disagree on this.
I wanted to tell one thing.
Disagree on this.
Go ahead, Krishna.
See, there is one specific thing that is being ignored here. What is being sold is a product. Now, the question to be asked is the product going to be ready on a particular date or not? The entire building has to be ready for possession. When the occupation certificate comes in, it is then ready for possession. Until then, it is not ready for possession.
What is this business of fit-out possessions that have begun now?
Giving a key to the flat buyer so that he can do his interior work and bring in his interior decorators and designers and interior sab kar lo, furniture kar lo, you can use the space for building your furnitures and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Which seems to be semi-legal if you ask me, or it seems to be reasonably okay. I don't see a glitch as long as you don't go and stay in it.
No, I wanted to add
Without
one
an
thing.
OC, as long as you don't go and stay in it, but I can be corrected.
Vijay Sagar, go ahead.
I wanted to add one thing, that whatever they are giving the furniture possession is totally illegal because they are getting notices from the corporation and PMRDA that you are using this building without occupation certificate.
All right.
And if something happens to them, suppose sometime building collapse, then all fault will be with the flat buyer. And that these builders are forcing them to take possession like this. Actually, once they have given an agreement date and once they have taken a commencement certificate from the corporation or local authority, then on that commencement certificate validity is there. 18 months, generally it will be 18 months. So after 18 months, they should be get all this, because up to 18 months only corporation or local authority has given them permission.
All right, Vijay Sagar, I want to take our viewers and all of the buyers who are listening on the show right now, I want to take them through the responses we received from the company. And I'll take this one by one because I want you to understand what's happening here. This is the KUL response to when will you deliver? That was a question. When will you deliver phase 1? When will you deliver phase 2? It says, in general, possessions are progressing smoothly on phase 1. Phase 2, we are committed to deliver around the same time as the agreement, which means that's a vague answer. They haven't committed to any date. But go back to phase 1. In general, possessions are progressing smoothly. Now, as far as we're concerned on this channel, if you do not have an occupation certificate, you cannot give possession. And this goes out to the buyers who've taken possession without an occupation certificate. We got in touch with the PMRDA, which is the authority at this point. In my hand, I'm holding the paper, which is the rejection of the occupation certificate for this building. This application for this certificate went in on the 4th of January this year. Not before that, on the 4th of January this year, it was rejected by the PMRDA. The PMRDA has released this document to us because a lot of the paperwork that should have been submitted was not submitted with the application. This was rejected, after which we understand no further application was made by the company. On your screen, I'm going to put up the list of documents that should have gone in that have not gone in because they've been ticked out on this. No completion certificate from the architect, no completion certificate from the licensed structural engineer, there's no fire NOC, there's no rainwater harvesting, water assurance, sewage system, consent to operate. None of these things were included in the document, which is why the OC has been rejected. This company does not have an OC to give permissions to give possession on this particular building. So if they're telling us here that in general possessions are progressing smoothly, I don't know what they're talking about. Nirav Jani, is a company allowed, is a developer allowed to hand over possession without an occupation certificate?
No, it's not.
What should buyers do if they've been offered possession without an OC?
They should not accept the possession without OC because as far as BMC Act is concerned, and also maybe the Bombay other act which is applicable to Pune, it also puts the liability on the purchaser, that's the home buyer, if he takes occupation without OC. So you must be very careful. If you're accepting possession without occupation certificate, then you can also be liable and also be one of the victims of the notices that the corporation may send.
Actually, my concern here is more immediate. Krishnaraj Rao, the fact that the buyer just told us that of the 2 lifts that are meant to be, one has a lift, the other one is an empty shaft.
That is a
Do you want your
scary
children playing in the building with an empty shaft? And if the liability finally falls on you, because you've taken possession without an OC, why would you take possession of a building that doesn't have a lift?
Very scary, very, very scary, and you are quite right in this. I mean, okay, I would like to bring on the table what a real life sort of an issue, which is that people who are living on rentals find the pressure unbearable after 3 or 4 years of not getting possession. You know, the rental bills are mounting every month.
So they take possession without an occupation certificate.
What tends to happen is, yes, they say, okay, Baba, chavi de do, kaise bhi reh lenge. You know, and they want to be free from the tension of rentals. Now, what you're saying here is 100% right. It's not just about a legalistic stand about, PMC not allowing you to stay without an occupation certificate, but in your own interest, it is highly hazardous to live in an under construction building. And yes, there are open lift shafts, there may be
without water, without electricity.
There may be so many things that may be wrong, there may be live wires.
Let's take a look at the developer's reasons for delay. When we asked the developer what the reasons for delay were, they've said that the project was already 6 slabs done when the rules changed, insisting on 2 staircases for a building. This was a retrospective rule from the government. We had no choice but to comply. Again, we've checked with the local government. No rules changed at all. There was no need unless the company decided to change their plan or increase the height of the building. There were no changes in the rules in this particular area. They've also said the sanctioning authority of the project changed from the town planning collector to the PMRDA, changing all of the rules, clarity of which we still await. We've gotten in touch with the PMRDA. This is an official statement from the PMRDA that has told us very clearly that no rules changed when the PMRDA took over. There was no sort of retrospective changes that were made whatsoever. And there are no files pending in the PMRDA from this particular project. Now remember, we take it very, very seriously when we receive an allegation of delays of permissions from local authorities, because that is a campaign that we're running right now. We checked with the PMRDA, we wrote to the PMRDA, they wrote back saying there are no files pending of this particular project with the authority at this point. They've also said the second phase, this is KUL saying the second phase project commencement was delayed because of various legal obstruction issues and approval issues with the PMRDA. The PMRDA there being mentioned for the third time in this email. Again, we checked with the PMRDA, who've gotten back to us and told us there is no such delay. No files are pending from this project with the PMRDA. Last response on why we have delays. We had a boundary issue with an adjacent landlord. We also had river and sand shortage, strikes, other construction materials like cement were unavailable, and we had off-season rains. These are the reasons the developer has offered. Nirav Jani, it is not my problem as a home buyer if there were off-season rains. It was not my problem as a home buyer if you didn't have cement available at time, or if you didn't have sand available at time. For home buyers who are watching right now, how are they supposed to guard themselves against things like this?
And these are extra contractual factors which he just brings into the picture as in retrospect.
Nirav?
See, as far as these reasons given for delay are concerned, if I have not read the agreement, but most of the agreements, when they stipulate a time period for handing over possession or completing the project, they are subject to these delays because these may be forces beyond the control of the builder at times, which may result in delay of the project.
Cement not being available? I mean, I would assume if you were going to build a building, you'd find out whether cement and sand are available or not. That's part of the process. I mean, I can't show up tomorrow saying I didn't have a camera. I need a camera if I'm going to do a show. How can that be an excuse for not delivering a building?
You're supposed to factor in a lot of these things. You know, you can't say, I don't know my business. I don't know about the changes in sand market or cement market or stuff like that. You have to expect some fluctuations. How can you not do it?
As far as
legally,
the reasons that, I mean, the comments that are being made over here are concerned, I mean, I cannot comment on the same, but as far as the agreement is concerned, it would be subject to these particular delays. And if the developer is reasonable enough and can prove that there was some sort of a delay due to these factors and it is contractually agreed, then I don't know how the home buyers are going to escape by merely saying that we didn't read the agreement, which we believe is not the answer.
The big learning here, obviously, like we learn every night on this show, is that you have to read the agreement over and over again. You have to get a lawyer to comb through every page. But Nirav, if it says in the agreement that these are possibilities and these delays can actually be reason for delay, shouldn't the developer have informed the home buyer at every point of delay? Hey, listen, I've run out of sand. Hey, listen, I've run out of cement. It's rained in an off-season sort of unexpected way. The river has overflowed. Whatever those reasons are, shouldn't the buyers have received intimation from the developer?
Well, I agree. A proactive developer would have done it. But in the event, even if you're a proactive buyer, you should have been vigilant enough and even been at every 3 months, 6 months, try and see why there's no progress in the project and written letters and emails to the developer, and if you had not received response, immediately stop payment there or raise a red flag.
All right. Vijay Sagar, weigh in on this, the fact that there have been documents signed which allow the developer to cite these reasons as delays. Should the buyers have been more careful in this case?
Yeah. Actually, there are in MOFA Act, there are 4 clauses only in which that cement is not available, that material is not available, that clause is there. But in market, it was sufficiently available. So for builder, if it is not available, that is his money problem may be there. Because in market, there was no shortage in last 3-4 years. And other delays are, suppose war is there, then only, and some natural calamities are there.
Right.
That only.
I think over-dependence on small print is basically cheating.
No, but I want to circle back to what Nirav said. Krishna, I want to circle back to what Nirav said. You have to be able to prove it in court. So Nirav, if this argument is true, that the rest of the developers had access in Pune to cement and sand and all of the other things, and they're not able to actually prove that there was a shortage in the market, then this reason doesn't hold up, does it?
Certainly. So the way the clause would work is not because of, like rightly said, not because there was shortage in financial assistance to obtain it, but if there's shortage generally in the market due to which you could not avail it. Now, if the developer or the builder is able to prove that I did have the money and I did approach the person to purchase the sand or the cement, and it was not available then, and there was some sort of a shortage in the market which resulted in delay of a month or 2 or whatever period it may be, then he may succeed. And if it is not been able to prove, then it would surely be because of
all of it hinges to them being able to prove. Yes, Krishna.
There was one question I wanted to ask about this infrastructure charges. Was it at any point of time mentioned in any way in is it part of the small print of the development agreement, of the sale agreement? Or is it an extra contractual charge which is being imposed?
Is it an extra contract? We'll ask that. And I also want to ask, the customers who are listening right now, the developer has said that they're offering clients the option of shifting to other premium buildings to get their possession earlier. Have you received any such offer from the developer? Ma'am, the one who, if you have the mic, go ahead.
मेरा नाम सीमा भाकरे है, मैं भी अखिल भारतीय ग्राहक पंचायत से बोल रही हूँ। मुझे एक बात का बहुत ही आश्चर्य लगता है कि एक प्रोजेक्ट के लिए एक बिल्डर को कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट मिलता है अथॉरिटी से। वो अथॉरिटी ये नहीं देख सकती क्या कि उनको कंप्लीशन ये प्रोजेक्ट का हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है। अगर कंप्लीशन नहीं होता तो दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट के लिए कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू क्यों करते हैं, और दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करने के लिए कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट देने से पहले प्रोजेक्ट का क्या हुआ वो क्यों नहीं देखा जाता। इससे क्या होता है, बहुत सारे फ्लैट बायर्स बहुत गुमराह हो जाते हैं कि चलो कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट मिला है, इन्होंने दिखाया है, अभी कंस्ट्रक्शन चालू करेंगे तो कभी तो पूरा होगा ही। ये सब बहुत ही कंफ्यूजिंग है। दूसरी बात यह है कि बैंक्स जब एक प्रोजेक्ट के लिए लोन देती है तो वो प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है, उनके पास एक नियम ऐसा होता है कि लास्ट जो 5% जो डिसबर्स करना है लोन वो कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट के बाद में करते हैं। अगर एक प्रोजेक्ट का एक बिल्डर का ऐसा हो गया कि नहीं मिला वो कंप्लीशन और फिर भी वो 5% मांग रहा है, तो दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट के लिए वो बैंक्स लोन क्यों देती है, ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है। और तीसरा एक सवाल मेरा ऐसा है, ये सभी कंप्लेंट्स बहुत सारे कुल इकोलॉक फेज 2 के लोगों ने आरबीआई तक राइटिंग में दिए हैं, उसका जवाब अभी तक नहीं मिला। अगर ऐसा होगा तो लोगों का क्या होगा, उनका पैसे का क्या होगा, और उनको घर का कंप्लीशन कब मिलेगा और वो रहने के लिए कब जाएंगे। इतनी परेशानी उनकी होती है कि उनका घर का पूरा माहौल, उनका सुख और चैन बिगड़ जाता है।
This is something that's come up over the last couple of weeks when we've taken up delays. Krishnaraj, the fact that people have been asking us, if one authority is handing out CCs on a particular building that's never completed, why is that developer continuously getting permissions to launch new projects? Now, the weak answer we get a lot of times is because there are different authorities. In Pune's case, there's the PMC, there's the PCMC, there's the PMRDA. In Mumbai, you have Thane, you have Navi Mumbai, you have, you have SIDCO, you have BMC. So they can't overlap and make decisions for each other.
Right.
But is that something that can be pushed to ask for government authorities to be more accountable for whom they're giving permissions to?
We need to turn it into an issue with them. The problem is it is not presented to them as an issue, and they get away with saying that we have a very limited scope of work and we are not going to issue a CC, a completion certificate for one project if that is not complete. But at the same time, we have no reason, no rule that enables us to withhold a commencement certificate for another building. So he may not have a completion certificate for 10 years in project A, but he can get a commencement certificate in project B because he has met the IOD conditions. So this is it's a kind of tunnel vision thinking which pervades all our administrative authorities. And yes, we need to turn it into an issue. We need to present it as something which shouldn't be happening.
Okay, I'll tell you what my issue is this evening on this show. The fact that the developer did not come in and answer our questions. They sent us weak, sort of carefully worded answers that legally let them out of the questions that we asked them. They're not here to defend it the second time. And the fact that they repeatedly in these emails called the customers people who are doing this with some sort of vendetta, people who are doing this to malign their reputation. They kept saying that we're doing a great job. I don't understand what the motive is behind these customers coming out and saying this about us. We're a reputed developer. I don't understand, after we've handed over possession to everybody, why are these customers hell-bent on maligning our reputation? They made it seem like the customers were chasing after them. And it's that sort of attitude. It's that sort of attitude that really upsets me tonight. And I want to ask the customers who are on the show, we've heard this repeatedly from the developer, that you are ruining our reputation. Do not ruin our reputation. This developer seems more obsessed with their reputation than actually doing their job. Is this the response you've received every time you met the developer?
Well, that has been the kind of response we have started getting off late. It has not been the routine, but now that things are really stopped, nothing is moving on the ground, we have started hearing this a lot, and they have gone to the extremes in some cases. One of the things that you said, builder was not receiving material and stuff. That's all right, but then how come they charged us 95% to 100%? Last payment that I made was in November of 2014, when I had completed payment of 95% amount that I was supposed to pay. Only 5% is remaining. That amount was paid in 2014. That's a long time ago, and still it's not complete. So if there was no material, why was he asking money from us? And I will let your question answered by other folks that about the reputation and the motive behind that.
One second. Let's just hear out the buyer. Go ahead.
Yeah, about the reputation, he is very worried about the reputation. He has a team also. They are going to in Magicbricks and in other channel also. And they have a team. They are making so many messages like the builder is very good. He is very false messages. They have a team and. Mouth shut also, and even if we are going to the site and we are facing lots of problems, we are the sufferer, and we are seeing the very good reputation comments on the websites.
Okay. All right. I want to point this out. I want to point this out. When we asked about the fact that people have paid 95% of their payment already and they haven't received their homes, this is a response. And I want to put this out on the screen because I want all of our viewers at home to read this. This is the response from the developer. Most of our clients have only paid a booking amount and therefore are benefiting from rate appreciation. This is what the developer has said. Basically, first of all, they're saying that we've completed the entire building and you've paid us no more than 10%. Secondly, they're saying, what are you complaining about? Because you're obviously benefiting from rate appreciation. Nirav Jani, this sounds like a really good deal. If I can go ahead and only pay 10% and then, just wait until the entire building is nearly ready for so many years. This sounds like a really, really good deal, but what we're hearing from the buyers is that they've paid about 90%. There seems to be a complete mismatch in realities here between developer and buyer.
Absolutely. I mean, if anybody is giving a deal that you only pay 10% now and the remaining amount when you're getting possession, I think so it'd be a fantastic deal and nobody would be complaining, because at all it's only 10% that is returnable. And you are still having 90% in your pocket, and you're waiting for the entire building to get completed and obtain OC. So it's a fantastic deal.
It's a fantastic deal, but it's not true. Vijay Sagar, tell me this. Of all of the complaints that you have received, is there any home buyer out of the 250 home buyers that you've spoken to from this project who said that they've only paid the booking amount up till now?
No, not at all. And if you calculate the infrastructure charges, that is 2.5 lakh per head, and 1600 flat buyers are there, so it goes to 40 crore, which is not there. They should not take at all single penny for infrastructure charges. So they have taken 40 crore more. So it is actually 110% already payment has been done that way. And if you see the electricity meter charges is just maximum 10,000 rupees as per the website and as per the information we have received from MSEB. But they are charging 50,000 to 70,000 rupees. So there also, if you multiply by a number of flats, it is huge amount they are looting.
Right, a huge amount has been paid, and this is my message to the developer. I know you're watching right now. This is not enough. These answers that you have sent us are inadequate, and we've proven them on the channel right now. We've proven most of them to be false. You need to come forward and you need to speak to these home buyers. You need to speak to us. You need to justify this delay, and you need to give us reasons, and you need to give us a commitment on when you will deliver these homes. Wishy-washy answers sent on email, carefully legally worded, won't do, at least on this show. Give us a date. Give us a date when you will get your OC, when you will hand over possession. Give us a date on phase 2 that is horribly delayed at this point. I'm going to run these visuals. These visuals are with us. This was shot less than a week ago by our reporter who went to Pune, who visited the site. That's phase 2. That is horribly, horribly delayed. None of the amenities are ready in phase 1. This is the 13th of May. Phase 2 project is still in its primary stages. All we are asking for is a date. Give us a revised date on when you will deliver this project. Answer the questions we are asking. Tell us what you're doing to fix the problems you're facing right now. I want to show visuals of phase 1. The clubhouse is not ready. There is no electricity meters from what we understand. That's phase 1, what you're looking at right now. Nowhere near completion. That's phase 1 that we're looking at right now. Work is still underway on basic amenities. This is a construction site. This is a construction site that we shot last week. Don't tell us it's ready, because we can see it in front of our eyes. That's the date on your screen right now. What we're asking for from the developer is simply this. Come forward, answer the questions, give us a date of delivery. When will you reapply for the occupation certificate with the PMRDA? When will you get your occupation certificate? When will you give these home buyers a possession? Kumar Urban Developers not handing over possession to these buyers. There are over 800 buyers in this particular project. They haven't been given possession. I understand also that they don't have an association formed right now, and that's probably what is being taken advantage of. Krishnaraj Rao, you've helped several buyers through these problems. How important is it for them to band together, form an association and take on the builder, because it's fully within their rights to do so? Absolutely.
And first thing I would like to say that it's great that 20 of you have got together. It's great that 20 persons are coming out in the open like this, on television and talking about their problems. It's a very courageous act, because I know that builders tend to scare you a lot with threats of defamation and stuff like that, and they say that they are not going to give you your possession, etc., etc. Please get more people into your fold. Hopefully today's show is going to get us a couple of 100 people who will come on and join this group, and then seek relief from a consumer court, from consumer forum, as well as keep going before the media, including the social media. It helps to build pressure on the builder.
Nirav Jani, there's consumer court obviously, but the thing that really bothers me about this case is that affidavit that they were asked to sign. Sign this affidavit if you want your possession. Without signing this affidavit, you will not be able to get possession. Can that be held in court? Can they hold that against the developer in court?
Yes, I mean, they can certainly make an averment in their complaint stating that the developer has asked them to sign an affidavit which is completely absurd and which is not a part of the contract at all, and we don't know why is he asked her to sign this affidavit, and the possession should be given as per the terms of the agreement.
Right, but the terms of, okay, so tell me this, what is the best route right now for them? Is it consumer court? What should they be doing next as a group?
See, I believe that that since there would be some sort of an anomaly in the agreement, as it states that there would be 3 years from the date of the agreement, so there would be some sort of a defensible case for the developer. In such cases, the buyers who have actually whose agreement have been breached as on date, that means a 3 years period has elapsed, should immediately go to court and seek an order in their favor for handing over possession, and failing which to give compensation and so on and so forth, reliefs. And the others can then put a pressure on them simultaneously with those buyers and seek for their possession as well.
What sort of compensation should they be asking for, Nirav?
Well, that completely depends. If there is something mentioned in the agreement, then as per the agreement. If not, then it will be what the market norms are and what would be reasonable. And the court would grant what would be reasonable.
All right, Vijay Sagar, reasonable here is about 12% from what we understand. The NCRDC has been awarding judgments of about 12%. Nirav, is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, 18% court is awarding 18% also. Yes. I have just one case.
Yes.
In that 18% has been awarded by the National Consumer Dispute Redressal.
Right. But I am not suggesting the refund of money over here. I'm suggesting compensation for delay. So that
that is for delay compensation, not for refund.
Fair enough. So if there is a precedent to that, then yes, that precedent can be followed.
So that's either rent that is being paid right now on the apartment that you have to rent out and live in, or interest on the money that's been paid, which is the pre-EMI amount that's being paid, right?
And if there's a penalty clause in the agreement for late payment, then the compensation has to be at least commensurate with that thing. So
all right, let's ask the buyers here. Is there a penalty clause in your agreement in case the developer delays? Is there a penalty clause in your agreement in case you delay a payment? What does the penalty clause in your agreement say?
The penalty clause is 3 rupees per square feet per year.
From the builder's side?
No, from our side.
This is for builder. The builder is paying if they are going. This is for builder only. Builder paying us if the possession happens some 2 years, 3 years late. He is giving 3 rupees per square feet per year.
All right. Has he made any of those
payments? Comes around 1200 per year.
1200 rupees compensation per year if the builder is late.
No.
And what is it if you are late in your payments?
24%.
24%.
18 to 24%. And he also charged some customer also. Those are the abroad people. They don't know what is happening in Pune customer. Those are abroad customer. They already paid. We refuse because we know what to do. We are taking the help from Akhil Bharatiya, Vijay Sagar and Simaji. So they are guided us not to pay the interest, even if paying a demand on time itself.
24%.
Also, my request to the builder is, please don't harass us. Give us our product. We paid 100% plus our maintenance, and don't harass like anything to us. We are already frustrated, guys.
So if you are late in paying 1 lakh rupees, you will have to pay him 24,000 rupees per annum. Whereas if he is late in giving you your flat by 1 full year, he only pays you what? 1200.
Yes.
1200 rupees a year. And none of those payments have been made. Even those payments haven't been made.
1200, yeah. That
will not.
Still, that 1200 were not yet received.
This agreement will not stand if it is a bias agreement they have made.
Yes.
Okay. We have about 5 minutes left on the show. I want to understand from the buyers right now. There are various options, like Nirav pointed out. If you approach consumer court, there are various options. Do you want your money back? Do you want this deal to continue? Do you want your homes? Do you want compensation? As home buyers at this point, frustrated as you are, what do you want from the developer?
If I think I can speak for myself and from what discussions I've had with the other folks here, I think majority of us would want to have our homes. We have a lot of dreams around it. We have a lot of plans around it. We have stayed invested in this project for last 5 years. It's like 90% of the we are just there. It just needs the completion. So we are all hoping that the project gets completed. We all get our peaceful possessions, and we want to get out of this mess. Really, we don't want to have to be dragged around this case. And we have absolutely nothing against Mr. Lalit Kumar Jain. All we want is our flat for which we have already paid. That's all we want. And if that doesn't come around, we definitely are open for consumer court. Some of us have already done that. Some of us are looking at others and taking the lead. And a lot of consumer cases are going to happen if this does not come to a closure very soon.
Even a criminal case of cheating can be filed by those whose agreements.
Yes.
Nirav Jani, if there are some cases in consumer court already, can the rest of these buyers who have not filed a case right now approach the court also and join with the case that's already existing?
Yes,
Nirav?
certainly. Yes, they can do that.
What is the process involved?
They
No. If that is the single case, then they cannot join. They have to join grouply. So they can approach directly to the National Commission. But if individual is filing, they will go to the district forum or state commission. So then again appeal will be there, and they will go to the National Commission and then Supreme Court. So that other buyers cannot join to these single persons. If they form a group and go to the National Commission, and then other group can file similar case and a similar builder is there, so they can join there.
Okay. Nirav Jani, what advice would you give them right now? If you're talking about homes with the ticket size of 50 lakh rupees each, even the buyers who are on the channel at this point can group together and qualify for the National Commission. Should they be approaching the National Commission directly, because we know that those judgments come faster than the district or the state commission?
Yes, certainly. So if they have, as far as the visuals that I saw, the phase 1 project is fairly complete. The structure is up except the basic necessities and essentials. So I guess a relief for specific performance of asking the developer to perform his agreement within an X period of time, and also to award compensation for delay should be an appropriate relief. Okay. As far as the second phase is concerned, I'm a little doubtful, because it looks at a very nascent stage. Unless the home buyer is still ready and willing to realistically wait for some period of time, which I feel at least 2 years till the construction can be completed. In such case, they can say that please refund the money along with compensation, because we have lost trust and we are not desirous of waiting.
All right. So what you're saying, what Nirav is saying right now to the home buyers on the channel is, if you get together, you can approach the court and ask the court to instruct the developer to finish the project and hand over possession, which from what I understand is what you want. I'll listen to one last home buyer. I know you have things to add to the show. We are, of course, running out of time. Seek an interim order, ask for possession if that's what you want. Those buyers in phase 2 might have a much longer wait right now. To the home buyers who are listening, approach the National Commission, because you qualify. If the case is the value of the case is above 1 crore rupees, you can approach the National Commission, which is the fastest way to get a judgment at this point. Seek the advice of a lawyer and go ahead and do that. We've nearly run out of time. One last home buyer. Are you willing to take legal action at this point?
Yes, definitely there is no other option, and I believe that I am living in a democratic country like India, and I do believe in the Indian judiciary. I have not done anything, and I think none of my colleagues has done any such activity which they should be penalized by the same citizen of India, and he or whoever it is, it may be a builder, or he cannot tell, it's like you are the blacklisted customers. How come this definition comes? How come one person decided that we people are blacklisted? And there is one sentence, it's completely my own opinion. Please close this as soon as possible. At least open the channel to talk. Let's talk sitting in a opposite to each other, then come to a conclusion. Unless until there is some talk between the builder and the consumers and the customers like us, there would not be any conclusion. And the only solution for us is to knock the door of justice.
And on
That's
the contrary, you can
opinion.
file an FIR of cheating against the builder.
The panelists have given,
actually,
I do complain.
on behalf of all these consumers, I have already written to the Chief Minister and Kirit Somayaji, and Kirit Somayaji has directed this case, in which there are 40 builders are there. In that, these two projects of Kul are there. So, Kirit Somayaji has directed my letter to the Enforcement Department, Police, Director General of Police. I think they should take action now.
All right. So, my final message to the developer right now. All we're asking for you is to come out and start a conversation with your buyers and come out and give us a confirmed possession date with the OC that you will give possession to these buyers. That's all anybody wants on this show. These people just want their homes that they have paid for in full. All they want is to move into those homes. All they want is possession of those homes. Now, before we wrap up this show, there's one thing I must acknowledge. In a market where delay is such a common thing, it's only fair that on this channel we acknowledge and mention developers across the country who've succeeded in delivering their projects on time. It's happening in this market, as tough a market as it is. There are developers across the country who are meeting their possession dates and delivering projects on time. This is a list of projects in Ahmedabad that were delivered on time. This is a list that we're going to continue to run over the next couple of weeks. All of the projects that were delivered over the last few years that met their possession date. The market is not all bad. That's something we need to all remember. We've run out of time on the show. If you have a problem, get in touch with us. Our contact details will also be on your screen. Thanks for watching.